It's time for Cup of Red, so let's fill your cup with rad pop culture vibes. And now your over-caffeinated hosts, Mike and Katie. Hey kids, another exciting episode of Cup of Rad here for you. Today is another episode with something a little different. I have a pint-sized co-host.
Hello.
That's right, we brought Kiddo on today because this show is all about
Pokemon!
That's right, with Detective Pikachu hitting and us seeing it over the weekend here, we wanted to talk to him because he is our Pokezoologist. He's the one that keeps us up to date to all the things Pokemon. So, you're a big Pokemon fan, correct?
Yes, and Mom really is very passionate that I basically know most of the Pokemon names.
Well, that's true because you seem to be able to pull Pokemon out of a hat and know who they are.
Truth.
So why do you like Pokemon, kiddo?
You brought it up to me because it's basically these weird little creatures that you can put in balls and you battle them, basically kind of more for fun.
So that's why you like it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I remember when we were looking, you were really into Fantastic Beasts, and you had said that you wish you had something that you could collect from it. So we were like, hey, why don't you check out Pokemon? Because it's basically the idea of Fantastic Beasts.
But in another world.
Another world, right? Another fandom. So you watch the cartoons.
Uh-huh.
You read the manga.
Yes, I do.
What do you like more, cartoons or manga?
The cartoons are fun because it's a lot more of the fluent in the adventures, but most of them always have Ash in them. It's kind of fun to read the manga because you get a different variety of characters and series.
With the manga that you've read, what has been your favorite series so far?
Most recent was Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I believe. But the first manga that I ever read was Black and White. I believe, actually, my favorite manga out of the three series, the one in between was X and Y. And X and Y, I believe, might have been my favorite.
Okay, cool. What was one of the reasons why you like X and Y?
It was a fun adventure with them getting basically kicked out while their home got destroyed, and they were running around trying and battling and defeating this team Plasma, I believe, collecting Mega Stones and not Keystones, but more or less Mega Stones in Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, and that's where my knowledge of Mega Evolution came from. So
your favorite Pokemon that you've encountered so far is?
Oshawott, Hawlucha, and Charmander.
Okay, so what is Oshawott? For those that don't know.
Yes. Oshawott is a Uvina starter. It's basically the sea otter Pokemon.
A sea otter?
Yes.
That's what it looks like, isn't it?
It has a blue body with white arms and head, brown nose, and has a yellow scallop on its belly.
And you've got a couple toys of that, correct?
Yes, I have a figurine and a stuffy.
Yeah. So Hawlucha is one that you really like, and that is what?
It's a fighting type Pokemon. It's basically a cross between a falcon or an eagle with a Mexican wrestler.
So the Lucha. So
yes,
he looks like a luchador.
Yes.
And why do you like him?
I got my liking of him from the X and Y series, honestly. I thought he had quite a big growth with his character, and he was actually kind of fun with his moves and that.
Cool. For me, from the X and Y, I like Chespin. Just because I really think that that's a adorable looking character. It's like a little beaver looking like squirrel with a pointy head. I think that's really cool.
I think it just reminds you of the beanies you wear.
Yeah, well, he wears a green beanie and he looks kind of like Louise Belcher, but with a green beanie. So I think that's really fun. He also gives a lot of attitude, which I think is really cool. I forgot to mention before, though, Oshawott, one of the things that really drew you to Oshawott, though, is because you love what creature?
Sea otters.
You are obsessed with sea otters.
Whenever I see a cute photo of them, I squeal so high pitched.
Yes, he loves the sea otters so much. So Oshawott is like the perfect Pokemon for him. None of the evolutions of Oshawott are really your jam, but the first evolution, or not evolution, I guess, the first incarnation of it is the best for you.
It evolves into Dewott that looks like a lake water, and then it evolves into what looks like a unicorn called Samurott.
Okay, and then from there we have
Charmander. Everyone must know this Pokemon.
I think it is one of the very first starters that you would get in the main series of Pokemon. There you go, the Kanto region.
It's a fire-type Kanto starter region.
And it's a giant dragon. Well, it's a little guy, and it becomes a what?
A Charizard. It basically looks like a dragon.
Right, and that's what I am very looking forward to with Detective Pikachu, is seeing the Charizard on big screen.
Yeah.
So out of those are your three main Pokemon. Those would be the ones you would carry around for your battles, right?
Yeah, those would be the ones that I would look for.
Okay. But you do have other Pokemon characters that you like.
Yes, I do, but the ones that I just listed were my favorites.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure, though, there's a Pikachu that sleeps with you.
Yes, I do have a Pikachu.
And he goes pretty much everywhere in the house with you when you decide it's cuddle time, right?
Yeah, I bring him down to play with my Switch.
But what did you also just get?
A Nintendo Switch.
No, I'm talking about the Switch.
Oh.
What Pokemon?
Eevee. The Eevee. I got an Eevee stuffy from Build-A-Bear.
Yes, you batted your little eyes at us. And
it's so furry.
We saw which one did we see at Build-A-Bear last time we went? They were new.
A Snubble and a Psyduck.
Yes. So we'd been hunting for other ones. We'd hoped that the Charmander would come back in stock for him.
I want the Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur.
But there was only the Eevee, so we thought, you know what, this is a couple times we've gone, so we got him the Eevee, and he was really happy with that. But the Psyduck was pretty amazing to see. It was a plump little platypus. But you also have a Mew figurine, right?
Yes, I do. It's one of those collector ones. It was my Oshawott figurine. Yeah. It's like one of the collectors.
And you collect the cards, right?
Yes, I do. I have a whole entire book of them that feels like it's almost going to explode. I have a lot more plant types than I have fire types, but I have more fire type energy cards than I do plant types.
Okay. You got a Umbreon, right?
Yes, I do.
A GX Umbreon.
I have a giant GX Mewtwo that is in the Detective Pikachu style.
Yeah, and how'd you get that?
From the Easter Bunny.
Right?
He made it rain Pokemon cards.
He made it rain Pokemon cards. He did. So you were talking about that you got a Switch, and what did you get for your Switch?
I got Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Tournament.
That is excellent. What do you think of Let's Go Pikachu?
It's a fun adventure. It reminds me of one of the original Game Boys. I got the Pokeball Plus with it, so I'm playing the game with a Pokeball. Like, that's amazing. I'm capturing so much Pokemon. I got a Psyduck.
Nice. Would you recommend Poke fans to jump on that if they haven't already?
Yes, it's really fun.
Okay, and the other game that you got for your Switch was?
Pokemon Tournament. It doesn't sound like it's not where you poke people. It's actually a Pokemon tournament where you fight as Pokemon It's a fighter's game with Pokemon.
Yeah, so basically it's kind of like a Street Fighter game,
Yes, it is.
but you're playing as Pokemon. So it's really cool. There's a Lucha Pikachu in there, which is really fun to see.
Yeah.
And there's Machamp.
Charizard.
Charizard is there as well.
Gender. Mewtwo.
Mewtwo is there.
Shadow Mewtwo. My Mewtwo, I leveled it up. It's unbeatable.
So there's a lot of fun things in it. We've had a lot of fun time playing that game as a family. It does get a little intense though.
Yes, it does.
So
I beat your butt last night.
yes, you did beat me last time quite a bit, but it also, to give fair warning, I had not played the game since you got it about close to a month ago.
Yeah.
So there will be a round 2 and I will return the pain. But with that, we're going to then realize that now it is going to be our review of...
Detective Pikachu.
That's right, Pika Pika. These are just choices. I can stop anytime I want. What did we think of Detective Pikachu? Coming up next. So we saw Detective Pikachu this weekend with Kiddo. And on a great note, we have someone back on the podcast.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. The great and wonderful Katie has returned.
To grace your ear holes with grandeur and laughter and all the greatness that comes from it.
Also, I am here back on the show today, right now, too.
That's right, Kiddo's here because we are talking about Detective Pikachu still. So we saw it, and let's get into this thing.
First reaction.
I really enjoyed the movie. It was an awesome storyline, and I loved all the Pokemon Easter eggs in the background.
Yeah, you were talking about all the different ones you saw the whole way home. It was like, oh, that one, I wonder what that one is, and that one was cool, so...
I was a little overwhelmed with all the Pokemon, but I still enjoyed it.
Well, it's definitely one that you would want to almost buy and just freeze frame through sections because there were so many in it that you could see.
Well, easily, because even like if you look around the city too, I want to look at the signs, and then you would have missed the different characters as well. So like all sorts of things. So
because we know through the posters, there's lots of
Easter eggs in the signs.
Exactly,
too,
right? So
about the Pokemon too.
That'll be fun to be able to rewatch and look at some of those scenes for sure, or stop and be like, okay, so what was that one there? What does it look like? And
so that comment then shows that we will be buying it, so we can just stop the podcast now.
Oh yeah, we're good. We can just talk about No. So my first reaction, again, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the humor that was in it. I liked the storyline, and overall, I was really happy with it.
How was yours,
Mike?
It had those moments of like the older kind of family movies where there was enough adult humor to keep me laughing, but enough kid-friendly humor to keep him laughing.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
we all enjoyed it. It wasn't I would enjoy more or I would be bored as they enjoyed it.
Exactly.
And that was what was fun with it, was there was a lot of balance, but there was nothing too
kid-like.
Yeah, but nothing that was too potty humor-wise. It was very much...
It was good, silly humor without being toilet humor. It wasn't being gross.
Yeah.
It wasn't trying to make you super uncomfortable or anything like that. Some of it you had to actually, it was quippy. It was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it was Deadpool light.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be fantastic for it. So.
Which proves that Deadpool could work in a PG-13 area if they just had the clever writing.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that would be true.
So a few of the points, what are some different scenes? Because, we always do spoilers. That we really enjoyed. What are some different things?
Spoiler alert!
Spoilers! So for me, I liked that, again, we talked about the humor style. Mike nailed it with that being a nice mix, kind of a family friendly. And I liked the very twisty surprise about who was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The bad guy was all set up to the sun. Surprisingly, was that Ditto. Oh, that gives me the creeps. It was actually showed how powerful a Ditto is.
Yeah, definitely. Anything that can shapeshift always has a lot of scary ability to freak us out. We don't like that concept. So I also really liked seeing how incredibly and scary powerful Mewtwo really was.
Yeah. My key scenes were the egg palms in the beginning, because they were wild, as well as when Detective Pikachu was singing the Pokemon theme song
Yeah.
so sadly.
I want to be the very best. But no one ever was.
I mean, it was just so funny because I'm listening to it and I'm like, that sounds familiar. And then I started like hearing the regular song in my head. I was like, oh, it's the theme song. That is hilarious. So
I was like, in
just
my
like
head.
that. Just like that too.
In my head.
That was great. Mike, what are some of your favorite scenes?
It was just the fact that there was so much in there. Like when I was watching the movie, it literally was the feeling of like, which theme park is going to get this license and build Rhyme City for us to walk through, like the Wizarding World, or now with the Star Wars Galaxy Edge, like that immersive.
Yeah, I want to see Rhyme City.
Yeah, because like there's Pokemon everywhere, and for me, it as much as I enjoyed the story and all that, it was all just the background stuff that I just found so interesting.
Yeah,
like the news with the fact that the Squirtles were firefighters.
Oh yeah,
like you just saw all these little things.
I love the Snorlax in the middle of the intersection.
It was funny, right? And then
the champ guiding the traffic.
Well,
and all the Panchums.
Yes.
So much Panchums. I had a hard time pinpointing what region it could be in.
It was so cute. He's just sitting there trying to figure all this stuff out. But I mean, the whole day the whole drive home, and then even the next day, just randomly quoting Detective Pikachu things. Like they did such a good job. Twisty. I loved all the coffee jokes too with it. It was hilarious.
Black as night.
Extra shot, black as night. Thank you, sugar.
I liked when he was stepping all over the clues in the detective. Thank you for stepping all over my life's work. No big deal. Like
when we went to the movie, they handed out Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah.
And a Detective Pikachu one of the moves were called Coffee Break.
I like it.
I think
that's ours.
I need to bring that to work to remind myself, like, no, we're having a bad day. Bam, I'm throwing that card down. We're stopping. We're taking a coffee break. I need to do that.
Yeah.
You need to carry an energy card with you then.
Yeah, okay, sure. I will
make
do
a
that.
Coffee energy card.
Yeah, it's gonna be the coffee energy. This is what it is. Coffee energy. So there you go. You have a art project. I need a coffee energy card.
There we go.
I'll laminate it. It'll be fantastic.
Okay.
We might have to include those in some boxes once we do a contest.
Ooh, we'll hand out coffee energy cards. A cup of rad energy cards.
That's cool.
That's fantastic. I know the other thing that was really cool was you liked the flashback scenes where you could the surveillance almost.
The projections.
Right? Yeah.
That was an awesome way because you could, like the person said I forgot his name.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm. But he said it shows us the things that happened that the people don't want us to see.
Yeah, it reminded me of something like Iron Man would have, where he all of a sudden can recreate a scene and see all that stuff. But then the issue with that, what we learned, is that it can be altered by the people who present the data as well, right? Mm-hmm. So I liked how that story developed, that it wasn't just a straightforward, like, oh yeah, this is what it is, and I could totally see that coming. I thought it was a cool concept that it was like, wait a second, I didn't expect that.
But you should have, because you knew who was cast in that role, so...
True.
Has he ever played a good guy?
Has he ever? No, he's always he's always the bad guy.
I like the projection when they were showing the Mewtwo lab. Mm-hmm. Because as well as we like that it mentioned the old movies, Pokemon movies about
20 years ago.
About the 20 years ago when they made other Pokemon movies.
Yeah,
about Mewtwo.
That it wasn't Mewtwo was not created in this movie. They captured it from a prior creation. Yeah.
And they used his DNA to make this gas that made Pokemon wild. And then that helped them turn people into Pokemon.
Yeah, well, they merged
There's a
them.
big spoiler.
There's a huge spoiler in your face.
Well, no, it was a big ad for not doing drugs, though.
Very much so.
Because that's what it was. It was basically giving Pokemon drugs to make them feral and wild. And it showed how bad it
And then the
really
fighting
was.
ring, right? How badly that messed up Charizard. And, the destruction of it.
I loved when the Magikarp evolved and then the mist snapped right out of Charizard and he looked so cute and helpless.
Yeah, he looked pretty terrified. It was the what have I got myself into? Right? I know you really like the Charizard scene though, right?
Yeah, I wish
It did look badass.
I wish it could go on a little longer.
Yeah.
Like a few seconds.
Well, it would have been cool to see him fighting with a little bit more control, too. We never got to see him fight, but who knows? Maybe he would have been the exact same way. He'd gone a little rampant, right? So
Well, I like being able to see when they showed the footage, kind of like the Welcome to Rhyme City, and you got to see Red in the battle of the tournament, right? Which is Ash, technically, right? In some form.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Showing the battle and all that. So I've heard if the movie does well, they're hoping to build a whole Pokemon universe. And I think this is probably one of the better video game movies out there. So you never know what we'll see. We might see a movie because it was well received how nice the effects were for Charizard. So.
Yeah. Well, I think Ryan Reynolds was a perfect cast for Detective Pikachu to bring people into it and make him a more welcoming, available character for people.
As well as all the Pokemon, they didn't seem that cartoony. They seem quite real.
Yeah, they did a fun job with them. They didn't look... Yes, they had a good texturizing to their... the animation and everything like that. It was very smooth and clean. I know, Mike, you really appreciated how it looked like, and you're super picky about that.
There was really
stuff.
only one scene that really bothered me.
Oh yeah,
with the effects, and it was Muddy in the Torterra scene.
Oh, okay. And that one...
And then Pikachu, when he was running, he got a lot more animated in that scene, which was weird. His fur brightened up because he was getting all dirty, and then he got like the red on his cheeks brightened up, and it looked more animated versus how photorealistic they had tried to create it.
Yeah.
So
I think that scene went on a little too long.
Yeah.
I think it could have been cut down.
Honestly, I thought Mewtwo was trying to control the forest.
Okay.
Then the twist happening that was the Totora garden.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that little tiny spot.
Yeah. Well, because he'd been trying to mess with trying to make them grow faster, right?
The Totora was humongous.
They were. That was the actual forest was created by them, right?
Right.
So
They almost did look like the continents, like the guidebook says it's the continent Pokemon.
yeah, that definitely filled that definition for sure, right? So
But in the guidebook it says the shell is only fit for small Pokemon. But in the movie, that could have a Totora could have a whole entire city on its back.
yeah, that makes sense for sure.
So we got to talk about the darkest scene in the movie, right? Mr. Mime.
Totally.
Because that got dark real quick, and I like this. But just the fact that they went there, they went to the fact that the kid, Tim, realizes that he's going to play with Mr. Mime's own powers.
Yeah.
And then, what are you doing? But gas? Oh, that was dark.
It was.
And then he lit him on fire.
Yeah, that just kind of breezed past that. He drops it and they're like, and we're done here. It's like, no, if we follow the same rules and everything, he should be sitting in there feeling like he was being burnt in a box. That's really, really disturbing, actually. How does a mime handle that? When he's not actually physically hurt, or does a certain amount of the power actually cause that?
Well, it should, because he's supposed to be able to fight other Pokemon, so technically...
That is true, and then
he created the wall, and it hurt
creates
Pikachu.
the wall. Yeah, you're right, it did, and it stopped. Yeah. That got dark, man. Twisty.
It was funny that Detective Pikachu was like, what? There was a door there?
Right? It was hilarious that it was let yourself just be part of that world again, because part of his power is being able to actually create those projections of a mime aspect, and and you could just play in that world, right? So, but yeah, it was really fun seeing all the different characters and then the different Pokemon they had and their different powers.
So watching that, did you find any Pokemon that you are more interested in?
You know what? Honestly, coming up with the Mr. Mime thing from the trailers, I was always more irritated with it because, you know, it's very common and easy for people to say they're irritated with mimes. But I actually really enjoyed that. Like, it was an interesting concept for the fact that it was like, what if mimes were real? Type thing. They really were those projections and they live in that. Like, it was just a weird concept. And so I enjoyed that aspect.
Me and Mike were actually thought Mr. Mime was quite creepy first. Now seeing the movie, I think it's actually kind of a little fun.
Yeah, well, it's good.
He looks creepier in the cartoon that he did in the movie.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Even on your poster, he looks kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's got more shading in the movie, so it's not as eerie looking, right?
The Cubone in the beginning was pretty funny. Like, he just was like, la la, I'm so cute, and then I'm gonna beat you in the face
so you
with
play
this
with
bone.
your Cubone toy now more?
How sad the Cubone sounded. It was like,
because he's the whole story with him is he loses his relatives. That's the skull. I like that. I really like how the way you wear your skull of your dead relatives on your face. Like, it's really a good look.
You know what's funny is that with watching the cartoon with X and Y, like when he was reading it, I really liked Pancham. I thought he was really cute and all that. And then I started seeing it on the cartoon and I was like, oh, I hate that little dick. And but then like watching this, I was like, I went back to being like, oh, Pancham's so cute because he never caused any havoc, right?
Well, until he got old and he just looked like this grumpy old man.
Yeah, he still looked cool. Though.
I forgot that they don't actually age; that they evolve more. And like you were saying, you know, that it wasn't just an older version of them, right? Because that was they look
like
very
he looks
similar,
like he's got a coat. Like he looks like he's from the Matrix or something. He's got a coat and he knows kung fu, right?
Matrix Panda.
So he's still
fantastic.
really cool.
as well as the little tiny bamboo sprout that is in his mouth. It's used to predict some moves.
Oh, it's like a little antenna thing, like Panda Sense.
Yes.
My panda sense is tingling. Kung fu kick.
That's awesome.
But the regular, I think the big ones is called a pangaro.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar.
As well as the Pancham, why they have a little sprout is because they want to look like their Pangaro, because they act like their Pangaro is their father, as well as it kind of looks cool.
Them.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a fancy king type, you know, here's the big man on campus feel.
Yeah.
See, like for me, the different Pokemons I tend to I like the flowy ones. And honestly, I think it's my love of My Little Pony. I find like magical glitter things. And like we were just playing Pokken Tournament and I found that Swoosine, or I'm totally butchering it now. And it was just all flowy, right? It's a legendary one. I like all the mythical and legendary Pokemons because they're all like fancy, right? And,
Yeah.
You like the ones with flowers and dinosaurs.
yeah.
Whenever you flip through that
The
book.
little like brontosaurus looking ones, they're adorable. They're like tropical brontosaurus ones. It would be awesome. I would love to see them make more movies in this style from different regions, right?
Well, we barely got to see like Eevee. It was really cool to see Eevee and then it turned into a Flareon, right?
Yeah, it was
Like,
really cool.
But like it was just
It's
like a
bigger.
side note.
You know, it's bigger, honestly, in the movie than I imagined it. It always seems like something that would be smaller and more, delicate looking, but she was actually quite large compared to like Pikachu, right?
Oh yeah.
So
she was huge when she became a Flareon.
yeah, exactly, right? So that would be cool to see some different regions and some different styles of the Pokemon.
Well, it's
And a lot more different Pokemon, too.
yeah.
It's rumored to have a sequel building, and it's talked that there's supposed to be a red and blue or something in that vein
Oh, okay.
that they were working on because early screenings of the movie, it was very positive, right? So I'm hoping it kind of builds steam. I know it didn't crush the box office like they were hoping, but
It's still going against Endgame, which is a difficult thing to go up against.
Yeah, and there's so many people that are out there right now that are like, hey, we're going to try to make Endgame beat Avatar.
Yeah, they've got a goal now, right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So let's talk about the ending of it, actually.
Okay.
Okay, so we, obviously we talked about spoilers and then we're going to be merging Pokemon together and it was the new evolution of things and whatnot, which was, the twist that we didn't see coming.
It was a twist that the Pokemon balloons had that gas.
It was totally Joker feeling.
Oh yeah, I got Batman 89 vibes.
Oh,
when
yeah.
that started happening.
Completely. I'm like, wow, because I saw the blimps, I was like, holy moly, it's a parade. Everyone's gonna be there. Those balloons are gonna be filled with
Spider-Man
that gas.
2000.
Yeah, it's like that's perfect. That's what you do. Don't ever go. It makes me not want to go to parades anymore with
Macy's
giant
Day
balloons.
Parade.
Macy's Day Parade. One day, those balloons are going to be full of gas, and the world is going to end. That's what we have learned.
Right?
So Mewtwo was
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, see?
Reboot.
not.
Too.
Why would we not learn? So Mewtwo definitely fixed everything with all of that.
Yeah, they
which
had-
is a complete
you know-
we can just switch everything back. Everything's
Yeah,
wonderful.
there was a little bit of the whole Deus Ex Machina
Yeah.
twice in the movie.
Yes, with that was number one, where it's like, okay, she can just undo everything. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to Detective Pikachu and his dad, right?
Yeah.
So we find out that this unaltered video concept was that it really was that his dad survived barely, and it was essentially that his body was dying and his mind got transferred into Detective Pikachu.
And those are Mewtwo's words.
Yes.
His body was destroyed.
Yes.
And
So I
his mind was
told you I could fix
And
it.
his Pikachu was willing to give his body away.
Yeah, and so bring me the sun and I can fix this.
Yeah.
I have some serious issues with saying that you can somehow grow a new dad body using the essence of his son. That just sounds crazy. And I know we're already dealing with the world of Pokemon and science fiction, but that is beyond anything.
That gave Mewtwo too much power.
Too much, yeah.
And like we already had the fact that they were able to switch bodies and now release those bodies, undo what happened. And now you find out that, and what was funny was, remember way back when the trailers hit and when they showed Detective Pikachu and it was the hat,
Yes.
right? And I was like, I bet you the dad's a Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, I remember you
right?
saying that.
Yeah. So when it happened, it wasn't a big surprise because like if they had never showed that in the trailer, I maybe had been more surprised.
Yeah.
Right. But that idea, that did kind of bug me
Yeah.
because, you know, the son had all this growth.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it was like, now your dad's back and all that growth is still good for him.
Yeah.
But at the same time.
But it's not going to stick the same way, right? Because I love the idea that he has that second chance, but at the same time, he could have tried to move on and make the idea of his dad proud. But you wanted him to just stay in Detective Pikachu. He would have had a buddy and a new way of dealing with his dad, but in this new
Also,
sense, right?
How would they explain that? Because the public thought that he was dead.
Maybe they could say because they thought maybe Mewtwo had captured him or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
It was
That he
kinda-
could have been captured and taken away somewhere, right? So
It was that would have been easy enough. But yeah, the fact that it was.
Wait a sec. Maybe Mewtwo absorbed his body and then.
no, he said his body was destroyed. Basically,
Oh.
it was too damaged, and so yeah, the only other way I
Transferred his
guess,
conscious, his mind into Pikachu.
Oh.
unless Mewtwo can somehow absorb the print of his dad's body and was able to like reanimate it from. I see. It's beyond.
Yeah,
That was a weird
It
bit.
was the Deus Ex.
Yeah, it was basically like, how do we make this actually all bright and shiny and
yeah.
happy?
For me,
at the end, right?
it was the brain and shiny, but it was also like the how do we get Ryan Reynolds actually in this movie?
That is true. Like, just by the way, just so you know, we gotta make them all
moms
happy.
happy.
Reminded. Yeah.
I thought that he should have stayed as Detective Pikachu because then he finally had a buddy.
Yeah, he had a friend that. Well, I'm kind of sad that he
Finally
won't be
got
able to
Pokemon.
talk to Detective Pikachu anymore.
Yeah,
Like that was kind of I thought that was a fun, weird thing, right?
yeah.
And
that had so much humor through the movie too. Right?
yeah,
Because no one understood him and
It
everyone.
just looked crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
I loved in the cafe where he pretended to be look like he's calling someone even though he's talking to his Pokemon.
yeah. That was funny. So overall, I really did enjoy it, though. I mean, the very few complaints for
very
something.
few. You know, it's just you just got to take it because
Yeah, it's such a minor thing, but overall, I'm excited to watch it again. I enjoyed watching all the little bits and pieces, and Ryan Reynolds did a great job being Pikachu for sure. And
it was lots of fun. It's something I think we can watch quite a few times and get some enjoyment out of it.
yeah,
Especially because there's going to be so much to look for in it, right?
yeah, definitely. Well, and anything that's funny is always good rewatchability for sure, right?
If you can put on a laugh, then you're good, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
And there you have it, Detective Pikachu, all peeked in you, face,
nice.
ear,
Pika
things.
Pika.
Yeah,
I like that.
Got weird and awkward.
Wouldn't be an episode if there wasn't something weird and awkward in it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So, but here we are. We're wrap that up. Thank you all for listening. It's a pleasure to have you.
It was fun to be back.
Yeah, Katie's back. She'll be back. She won't be back next episode, though, because next episode I've got a special interview again with Jonathan Bell. It was pre-recorded just in case she wasn't ready to come back, but you're going to still love it because there's some inspiring things in there.
Wonderful.
And then after that, we'll be back fully together. Yes. I have no idea what the episode's called, so that'll be awesome.
Something new.
I am glad that I have been in an episode for not just a little bit, but a whole entire episode.
Whole thing involved. Well, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your Pokemon knowledge and your love of the fandom with us. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!